Value of Wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are back again. This is Value Wrestling. This is not your Raw review. Let me get that changed out real quick and make that right, because it is not Raw tonight. It is another show that I don't even know what to call it right now. I don't have words for what I want to call it. But let's get that in there and get this right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Value Wrestling AEW Dynamite review for November 22nd, 2023. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. And welcome to the party. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. We're going to get into the announcements. Sitting across from me tonight, the one, the only. All right, and of course you know me, I'm the one, I'm the only, I'm the big time, and I'm here, and of course Miguel V, let's do it right. And in the chat, the one, the only, the New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, Miguel V. Oh, the gobbledygook for the next 48 hours at least. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving Eve. Tomorrow is a day to dine and fill that belly. Thank God it wasn't tonight, because I might have lost part of my Thanksgiving dinner after what we saw tonight in the travesty that became AEW and Dynamite. All right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Make sure you hit that like button as you're here and join in the chat, join in the conversation, add your 2 cents. Feel free to say hello and what you thought of tonight's AEW Dynamite, because the Dynamite went boom in a bad way. Anyways, tonight was the start.
Or did it plop?
Tonight was the start of the Continental Classic round robin tournament, where we had 3 matches, 6 men on the Gold League, and then they had the Blue League. You earn 3 points for a pin, 1 point for a draw. And I forget 3 for a win, 1 for a draw, and I don't think you get anything for losing. Welcome to the party. Thank you for joining us. And so the aspect is to get the most points. The two wrestlers with the most points on each side will face off each other at World's End to become the new Continental Champion and a Triple Crown Champion, which they still haven't made a whole lot of sense of. It does say that they will defend these belts across Ring of Honor, New Japan, and AEW. But whoever is the Triple Crown winner or the Continental Champion next year will be automatically entered into the next year's Continental Champion tournament and defend that title. I don't know if they're going to make these 0 for a loss. I don't know if they're going to make these titles one thing that's constantly defended through all these brands, or if they're just going to have a Triple Crown winner. The language and going back and forth through different reports has not really cleared up anything. We just know that AEW is going to add the Continental Champion, the Ring of Honor World Champion, and the New Japan Never Openweight Championship are all going to be combined at the end of this tournament as a Triple Crown tournament. What happens from there, I really don't care. AEW adding another title, why? And now they're going to make a Triple Crown. It's asinine. It's stupid. You can have a tournament to have a tournament, but even people are not very happy with the aspect of all this. If you're a New Japan hardcore fan, they're crapping on it, it seems like, because it seems like a ripoff of the New Japan Pro Wrestling tournament. And AEW fans are just, it's confusing. Nobody gets it. It's a mess. Today they announced all the people who were in it. We know that tonight we got Swerve Strickland versus Jay Lethal. They're both in it. We got Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe. They're both in it. And then we got Jay White versus Roosh. Those are the 6 men in the Gold League. In the Blue League, we have Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston, Daniel Garcia, Brody King, and I forget who the other 2 guys in that side of that tournament are. I don't have my things here in the moment to go back.
Daniel Garcia is one of them.
I said Daniel Garcia. I knew the dancing fool. Because they're calling him the dark horse of this tournament. So Daniel Garcia's in it. Let's see if we can find the other two names. It was back here. Here we go. It was Claudio Castagnoli and Andrade El Idolo. Wow. How sad is it that I forgot Andrade El Idolo?
Oh,
And
you mean as much
Claudio.
as he hasn't been used?
Claudio Castagnoli are getting into this tournament. So they will all wrestle on Collision, and we'll get points there. The never open weight champ is Shingo, just so folks know, two different titles. Explain more. Shingo, there's two different. The open weight title, is it? It's just the open weight title that Eddie Kingston has. I don't know enough about New Japan, nor do I care. Unfortunately, sadly, it's hard to keep up when you put 3 titles in here, and I'm supposed to keep up with all of it because you're trying to make a Triple Crown winner. Anyway, so that's everybody who's going to be in this tournament. We're going to see the other guys fight on the blue side, so I guess we assume that Bryan Danielson will be in action. Okay, it's the Openweight Championship. Bryan Danielson will be in action on Saturday night. As AEW has announced, they're going to go head-to-head with the WWE Survivor Series. We're getting 3 hours of AEW TV as we're going to get Collision and Rampage straight through 3 hours going head-to-head with Survivor Series. What a hot mess Tony's jumping into. Anyways, that all said, that all done. We opened the show with Jay Lethal versus Swerve Strickland. Go ahead.
How is it that Tony Khan wants to pull a war when it's going to be against War Games? No, it's the idea ever.
I don't know what he's thinking or why he thinks he needs to put 3 hours on Saturday night. Why wouldn't he move this to the Friday and at least compete with SmackDown where he might have a slightly better chance? Especially since we know Bryan Danielson's returning to action after his orbital bone injury, so that's a big deal. But, I mean, it's a shit show. Yeah, I know. Sleepy Tony. Anyways, they open with Jay Lethal and Swerve Strickland from the gold side of this tournament. This match was, it was a match. Both wrestlers were decent in this match. You got what you wanted out of it, but it was stupid to me because Swerve Strickland, after what he did to Hangman Page, and the fact that Jay Lethal lost on 0 hour to Eddie Kingston, this should have almost been a squash match by Swerve. Swerve should have just gone out there and just beaten the snot out of Jay, but it didn't. Jay looked good in the match at least. It went 13 minutes, 52 seconds. It was a decent match. I don't think it was the best match between these two. It was good. You didn't get to have any interference, so Jay Lethal didn't have the Gorillas in the Mist and the Clown Circus show with him, and everybody cried because Swerve Strickland didn't have even Nana to dance down to the ring with him. That was probably the low light of the night, as we didn't get to at least see Nana dance at any point in time, not even at the end when, he could have came out and danced at the end after Swerve won. This was weird. Swerve didn't seem to play anything from his Full Gear. They advertised some of the stuff that happened at Full Gear, but it just didn't make sense. Anyways, Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this?
The fact that Jay Lethal lost to Kingston there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But I think that would have put him in a position that he had something to prove, which this should have been a banger match. This should have been booked to be a better match than what we actually got.
Mm-hmm.
I still would have expected Swerve to go over, but just the fact that Jay Lethal is now in a position that he needs to prove himself again. Again, I don't know what they're thinking.
Jay Lethal is a part of the Cardi Sideshow group, and he's never going to be taken seriously again. And it's a shame because Jay Lethal has lots of talent, but he's hanging out with Jeff Jarrett, and it drags him down and makes him feel less important.
See, you always put it on Jarrett. I don't think it's Jarrett by himself that makes it look bad. I think it's literally everyone else in that group.
It's the group as a whole, and it's the way Tony Khan has them booked. I mean, granted, it's just the way they it's not necessarily just Jarrett's fault. It's not Saddam Singh's fault. It's not necessarily Sanjay Dutt's fault. The Grill and the Mist we won't talk about, but it's just it's the way that they're booking these guys. I mean, Jarrett doesn't need to be on my TV all the time, but he could be useful in the right ways, but they're not really using him in the right ways. They just make him look like clowns in the back, laughing and goofing off and constantly cheating. The guitar shots, it just feels like old. It feels somewhat a little bit old WWE, but almost like old WCW. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching TNA again. In the Jarrett era. It's just we've been here. Hey, I'd be happy to have Black Machismo out there. If I had babyface Jay Lethal with Black Machismo and doing the Macho Man thing and selling that and winning matches and doing something different than the crap he's doing right now, I wouldn't complain. I would love to see him feud with Ric Flair again, just for fun, shits and giggles, to get a laugh and a pop. Not that Ric Flair and him didn't need to have a match, but just the mimicking of Ric Flair and Jay Lethal.
The WOW 2.0?
Yes. Anything would be better than the crap we're getting from Jay Lethal. Anyways, we're backstage with Renee, with Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Shibata. Because, hey, we need a 6-man tag, but we can't use a best friend. We're just going to bring in a New Japan guy and Shibata and put him out there. Yeah, cool. Shibata, let's see, Hook's the FTW champion, Orange is the international champion, and Shibata is the Ring of Honor pure champion. So everybody there's got golds, and Wheeler Yuta walks out. He talks his big game like he's a big boy without his friends around. He talks smack on Hook, he attacks on Orange, and then he talks about Shibata, and he's going to get his title back real soon. Orange was going to make an announcement, but they ran out of time. Yay. From there, we get MJF's music hitting. MJF comes out, and then we get Adam Cole's music. We get the break. Cole out in crutches, and MJF walking out to his best pimp walk. I guess he must have spent time with the Godfather, working out his walk to the ring with his cane. We got MJF.
Just remember, hashtag Team Gimpy.
Yep. Drop that in the chat, why don't you? Anyways, we're out here. MJF puts himself over about beating Switchblade, Jay White, the Bruchachos, the 2 men with 1 leg beat the undefeated Jay White. You understand this, ladies and gentlemen. 2 men with 1 leg beat the undefeated Jay White. And we're all okay with that. Anyways, Adam Cole talks up stuff, talks about how he's worried about MJF. We talk about the Wardlow. Then we talk about the devil, and then the lights go out, and there's the devil on the screen with a morph laugh. I don't know who the devil is. I'm assuming it's Adam Cole. Adam Cole may be working with Samoa Joe from what I've got from the night. Probably working with the Kingdom. That's probably all we're going to see there. I don't know. Of course, the devil at this point, I might buy it to be Tony Khan with the stupid laugh they gave out tonight. I don't know. I'm over the devil thing. They haven't done anything fantastic with the devil, and all we got tonight was him on screen laughing. It's a joke. I'm done with it. Like, either give us what we need or not. Anyways, after the devil was done, here comes Samoa Joe out. He wants a match for the title with MJF. MJF gets a couple of shots out here. I don't think he said below me. I think he said something else because they bleeped him out. And then they bleeped him out a little later. They kept bleeping out all the good parts, so this thing just kind of, eventually he tells Joe no in his own way, and then Joe grabs him by the throat, and then Adam speaks up, trying to say, let me talk to him, and then MJF finally agrees. He's beaten a Ring of Honor legend twice in Chicago, so why not beat Joe? So he says tonight, and then Joe says, no, I don't want somebody who can go out tomorrow and say, oh, I was not cleared to be in the ring, I wasn't 100%. And so he challenges MJF for World's End, and MJF wants to get this straight. He talks about how Samoa Joe wants to wrestle MJF in the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, where it's magical. The fans of Chicago get upset with MJF for putting over New York or Long Island, at least in this thing. Then MJF goes like, I like Chicago deep dish pizza. Now calm down. Anyways, in a long way around in a big giant loop, we got a fake match set for Chicago that night just to get to the World's End match that they could have booked from the beginning. This thing was a little long. It didn't really play into a whole lot. We got what we expected. MJF versus Samoa Joe at the next big event, which is going to be World's End. Yay. We're going to repeat that. We had a little pop of the devil. I don't know. I'm kind of over this devil crap because I don't keep it consistent. Just having the devil fall up on screen and laugh doesn't do anything. You should have had Joe get attacked by these guys or whatnot. Of course, Joe did tell MJF that he's his property and that he's going to make sure he makes it to World's End. So you do got to like Joe. Joe's great on the mic. Was not anything good for either. And both these guys are really good on the mic. I love these guys on the mic. They can cut good promos. They know how to hit one-liners. They can go out there and do this. But this segment just didn't do it for me. I guess maybe I'm a little over it. I'm just like, let's get to the point. We know what you guys want, and let's get it done. Anyways, Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on MJF, Adam Cole, and Samoa Joe?
I just love how Samoa Joe can say what he wants, and he doesn't even have to curse. Because I would have used another term, but maybe for standards and practices, Joe decided to go with a term that with my property instead of what I would have said.
Yeah.
That's all right. It got the point across, and that was ultimately the point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I'm over this devil stuff because we're not playing into it the way we should. We're not seeing any payoff. I understand anyone who gives up on this at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get to the point so we can get to the next story, because this is getting just beyond silly.
Yeah. Anyways, next we got the 6-man tag: Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Shibata versus Jake Hager, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker. And Orange Cassidy has a big announcement. Guess what, everybody? Danhausen's back, and Danhausen gets the biggest pop in the night. We get Danhausen chants. Yay, Danhausen's back. This match was just a stupid match. Jake Hager goes after Danhausen because Danhausen pulls out the purple hat. Hager's upset he has the purple hat, and then Danhausen curses Hager. Hager falls down. OC hits a suicide dive. Then you have Parker and Menard inside the ring with Hook and Shibata. The ref's not making anybody go out. You had 3 men on one at one time with the ref just standing there. This just was stupid. Hager in his purple hat. Jake Hager went to AEW to feel like he could prove himself as a wrestler, as an elite fighter. He was going to be something special, and I'm like, no, Jack Swagger is a better character than Jack Hager's turned out to be, period. In the story. Sorry about your damn luck. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. Tell me when I'm telling lies. But in the end, Hook and Shibata, they switch Parker and Menard so that each legal man is there, and then they make... Hook gets red rum, Shibata in the sleeper. The fools tap out. Parker taps out. Hook, Shibata, Orange at 8 minutes, 9 seconds in a cluster show that we didn't need to even happen on this show. Yes, Tony Khan has managed to do one thing. He's got a purple hat over. Congratulations, Tony. Tony, you've done it. You've managed to get an inanimate object over. I mean, I don't know why. I don't even want to get into it. You know what, Mr. Clarke? Go ahead. Your floor is yours.
Oh, you're going to hate me because here's my next question was, how long until the purple hat is the AEW World Champion?
Oh, probably sooner than later. It's probably who Will Ospreay is going to beat at All In to win the AEW World Championship. The purple hat versus Will Ospreay. Buy your tickets now. They're going to sell 2,000 tickets to that place. They have set it up for 2,000 seats already. Or 200,000, excuse me. 200,000 seats is what they have Wembley set up for. That's the goal they're going for.
And the sad part is, if you're just looking at the talent roster, they have the talent that can do it. It's the booking of the talent that's going to cost them.
Well, I don't know if they can do 200,000. Yes, they did a big number. I don't know how they're going to get 200,000. They did 100,000. They didn't even do 100,000, did they? So I don't know where they're getting 200,000. I guess they're going to just cram people on top of people. But again, I don't know how they're going to do it, especially with the fact that WWE is going into Europe twice this year. Once they're going in May with Backlash, they're going into Paris, France. And then on that same weekend, I think All In is on the Sunday, and then the Bash in Berlin is on that following Saturday. So I don't know if they can sell the number of tickets like they did this year, because people are going to have to choose. Not everybody's going to be able to go to both shows, all shows. Yes, there's people out there that are going to travel and go to these shows, but again, some people are not going to be able to go to all these shows, so they're going to have to pick and choose. The only thing AEW is going to have is they're going to have Will Ospreay winning the AEW World Champion at All In, because that you just see that writing on the wall. If you don't see that writing on the wall, I don't know when you were born, but yeah. I mean, that's you see what they're doing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Coming back to... No, I don't even want to talk about this match.
Orange, Hook, and Shibata?
There's nothing to talk about there.
You don't want to talk about Shibata?
I mean, I enjoy his work, but I don't know enough about him to say anything about it. Like, I've seen him in clips, I've seen him in matches here and there.
Don't you think Coke's the greatest FT? Don't you think Coke's the greatest FTW champion ever? So he's better than his daddy?
By default, at this point, yes.
Kitty, yes, there's a kitty. Yes, always. She likes to be the center of attention. Anyway, so that match happened. Backstage, we got Renee Young with Adam Cole, and here comes Jackass. Roderick Adam comes in, rolled in by the Kingdom. Adam Cole basically flips off and goes, "We're no longer friends." And he's proud of MJF, and so, yeah, Roderick Strong and Adam Cole supposedly are no longer friends, so we don't know what corner Roderick Strong is probably going to go crawl up and cry.
And he sat there and just like no, so it's like, oh, he didn't mean that. Like, he's already in denial. I'm like, really, dude? You just said it to your face. Get a clue. Now, of course, knowing the trope, they're probably working together.
Yes, they broke.
If you're a longtime wrestling fan.
They broke up. The stalker, the ex dumped their stalker finally. We'll see how it goes. From there, we got the biggest crap of a crap. I don't even know why we had all this. This was just shit. Christian Cage had a rechristening of his children. So here's Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus. Christian Cage talks about the match. We get a review of the match. Christian Cage ran away like a bitch. But Christian Cage didn't lose the match. Nick Wayne didn't lose the match. No, Luchasaurus lost the match. And so we got Christian saying he's going to re-Christian, rebrand these guys, make them something. He tells Luchasaurus to go down on the knee several times before he finally goes down on the knee. Christian calls him his finisher. And this Saturday, you'll have a chance to deserve the name. And now Luchasaurus will be known as Kill Switch. Then Christian turns to Nick Wayne, tells Nick Wayne to drop to a knee. Nick Wayne to drop to a knee. Immediately, Cage tells...
Anything about dropping to a knee. Not to Nick Wayne.
Oh. He says Nick Wayne's name, and Nick Wayne drops immediately to a knee. And, Hey, Paul, who's your daddy?
Not you, bitch.
Yeah! Anyways, I hope you have a better punchline for that. So Nick Wayne, he says Nick Wayne's name. Nick Wayne drops to Nate Cage, tells him don't drop to a knee for another person. Nick Wayne is special. He's different. He's his son. And Nick will forever be known as the Prodigy Nick Wayne. Thank God they didn't call him Nick, the Prodigy Nick Cage. But hey, anyways, whatever. And then the shit just got worse from there. If you thought Christian rambling on about nonsensical nothing and we're not talking about anything from the past, yes, we get Nick Wayne's mom, not Stacy's mom. We get Nick Wayne's mom. Stacy's mom might have been a better choice to see, but no, we got Nick Wayne's mom. She enters the ring. Christian doesn't know why she's out here. Yada, yada, yada. She's a waitress. A waste of life. A waste of time. Eventually, her and Cage get into it. Luchasaurus gets up off his knees, stands between Christian Cage and Nick Wayne's mom. Christian smacks the living shit out of Lucha. Lucha looks like a bitch. Eventually he shoves Lucha, or Kill Switch, whatever this idiot's name is nowadays. Don't care. He's not important. Might as well just leave this freaking company. He shoves the guy. He bumps into Nick Wayne's mom, knocks her down. And then we get a whole setup. Cage is setting, or Nick Wayne goes out and gets 2 chairs. We're getting set up for a concerto. Cage is about to hit Nick Wayne's mom with a concerto. But then he stops and gives the chair to Lucha and tells Lucha to do it. Lucha thinking about do it, not do it. He tells him to be the kill switch. And he's struggling with himself. And then we finally get the long freaking awaited arrival of Adam Copeland. The Rated R Superstars music blows through the speakers. He comes running down and saves Nick Wayne's mom from that. And Nick Wayne and Lucha get speared again for the 18th million time, like the punks they are. Copeland's about to go hit Cage, but Lucha grabs him out of the ring and saves him after being basically punked out by Cage. Copeland sees Nick and hits him with another spear, impaler. And then Adam sets up Nick for a concerto as Cage screams his child's name. Nick's mom sits in the corner crying, and Copeland winds up hitting Nick Wayne with a concerto. And that's your story, and it sucked. And Tony Khan, it was a horrible. You're giving us World's End, Christian Cage versus Rated R Superstar, Adam Copeland. I'm sure it'll be for the TNT title. We know where the story is going. This was stupid, a waste of time. You make Luchasaurus look worse every week. Nick Wayne doesn't look like he's doing anything for anybody. He's just a spear boy. He's constantly getting speared and beat up by Adam Copeland in this matter, and I'm over it. Mr. Clarke.
You're over Nick Wayne being the tackle dummy?
I'm over the whole thing.
That's true. That's fair.
You know, it's your favorite thing, right? The patriarchy.
Oh, I've already done one explicit as of this show. I'm going to try not to continue that. But pump that. There we go.
Yeah. Nothing else to add to that?
I mean, you know that Nick Wayne's mom is going to continue to be a part of this storyline. The fact that Nick Wayne got hit with the damn concerto in front of her.
Go ahead, Miguel. Throw it out there. Let's just give the match to Tony. We know where Nick Wayne's mom's going to wind up on, right?
Oh, sheesh.
Go ahead. I know you're dying to say it, Miguel. I know you're thinking Judy Bagwell right now in the back of your mind. Go ahead. Anyways, from there, we got an interview in the back set. Matt Menard is, of course, pissed. He wants to know what's going on. Hager's pissed because Danhausen had the hat. And then Jay yells it's about her, and she just wants to wrestle. She's tired of losing. She doesn't know if they're helping her or hurting her. She will help herself and hurt someone. Parker gets a phone call. It's Ruby Soho. And Anna wonders, no, yeah, I know he got fired once. Anna wonders whose corner he will be in. And so, yeah, we're going to get Anna Jay versus Blue Sky versus Sue Ruby Soho later tonight for no reason, for no purpose. Anyways, the next Continental Classic match is on the way. The Gold League. We have Roosh versus Switchblade Jay White. How Roosh couldn't beat a man that couldn't beat one man or two men on one leg, I don't know. End of the day, Jay White gets up, hits a beautiful move, and then him lands into. Roosh hits the corner, bounces off her, rushes, and Jay is up to lock in and try for Blade Runner. We get a low blow, and then back to the Blade Runner. Match went 13 minutes, 58 seconds. Good, solid match between what you get Roosh and Jay White. End of the match, Jay White's your winner. He got 3 points added to his thing. But this fool don't get on a mic. This fool don't say nothing. He doesn't get an interview segment. He don't get nothing. He got beat at a pay-per-view for a world title. Cheated out of a world title, was undefeated up until that night, couldn't beat a man on one leg, and has nothing to say about it, like nothing happened. Jay White's just moving on in this tournament like nothing. And this is Tony Khan's stupid booking. How do you not have the guy who lost your main event at Full Gear address the crowd after his match? And of course, this match, when Jay White and Roosh came out with LFI, and Jay White came out with the guns, and there's not supposed to be anybody at ringside. And when we saw Swerve and Lethal, they didn't come out with their people, but in this match it felt like their people needed to come out. I don't know, it was stupid, dumb. I'm kind of over this classic tournament. Good match, what was in the ring, everything else was garbage. Your thoughts on Jay White versus Roosh, Mr. Clarke?
The thing is, in the previous previous owners of Ring of Honor, this would have been a main event match. Roosh, Jay White, Roosh, former ROH World Champion. Jay White, former IWGP World Champion. Like, the story writes itself, regardless of what happened at Full Gear. But it's, again, back to Tony Khan's booking. Everything you just said about Jay White not acknowledging what happened at Full Gear.
We didn't get anything about it. Nothing was acknowledged. Like, Full Gear happened, and then it's just like we forgot about it and we're moving on. Not with new storylines, just we're going to forget about it and move on. Nothing got touched on, really. Yes, we got the playback of Swerve, but it didn't really do anything to help Swerve's character continue to grow.
And that's the thing, is they should be using what happened at Full Gear to continue on into what they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a continuous flow about it. And for whatever reason, I don't know what to say about this. Oh God! And then in the next segment,
So we got the segment that I guess you probably love because it had the timeless one, Tony Storm in it. Anyways, we had RJ City and Renee on the ramp, and they were gonna, I guess, announce or give the. I don't know what this thing was. It was something about presenting the AEW Women's World Champion. So we had this Oscar moment where RJ City and Renee are on a mic. They open an envelope and go, "The AEW's Women's World Champion goes to." And when I'm like going, we know who this doesn't make sense. Like that, I'm telling you, one of us needs to invite. Yeah, I know. I wish we could get to the scrum, but Tony won't like us because we'll ask the real questions. Anyways, so like an award show, they go, and the AEW Women's World Champion goes to Timeless Tony Storm. She comes out of the crowd with Luther in black and white. We get this weird, bizarro world where she's accepting award. Mariah May is there to present Tony with the title. Tony pulls out glasses and goes, I wasn't expecting this. The crowd is chanting speech. And so she wasn't expecting to give a speech. She thanks Mr. Anthony Khan, which is kind of funny. I'll give her that little moment. She's calling him Anthony Khan. And she goes on. She then cues for the standing ovation. This was the stupidest crap ever. I don't know what they're trying to do with this character. The character doesn't fit the character in the ring. This was just kind of weird. I get she's supposed to be this Hollywood starlet, but this was just, I don't even know. Anyway, she gets interrupted by Sky Blue. She stares Tony down and walks to the ramp for upcoming match. Mr. Clarke, how did you feel about Tony Storm's segment tonight?
Yeah, I don't believe that you don't understand what's going on. I do believe that you don't like it, and I can understand that completely. And even I thought it was silly. But
It's just,
it is what it is.
It's too over the top. Like, I get she's a Hollywood Scarlet, but it's got to fit her ring action and everything else. But this whole I won an award, it's just like, okay.
You know how to suspend your belief if you wanted to. Like I said,
I know how to, but you have to get me invested and want to. This doesn't want me to.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. You're not giving me anything to go, okay, I'll suspend my disbelief and believe in this fairy tale. It's too far out there for me to buy into and give into.
It's comedy. Not all comedy is going to hit everyone the same way.
I know, but AEW Women's Division sucks, period. Except maybe around the TBS Championship, and that's about the only good thing. The AEW Women's Champion, you have 2 3-time champions in 4 years, and now you have this storyline. I don't even care.
I believe that.
From there, we got Sky Blue versus Anna Jay versus Ruby Soho in a match that was just kind of a clusterfuck of stuff because you had Ruby Soho and Parker having their little romantic story on the outside, and then Menard pulling Parker away from Soho, and Saraya pulling Soho away from Parker and keeping him away and fighting him out. And Anna Jay's upset at Parker because he's going after Soho, and there's just all this other drama that takes way too away from the match. It was a decent match. Blue Sky actually wins this match because Ruby Soho gets herself so distracted with Parker and Saraya that she doesn't get in to break up the pin after Sky takes down Anna Jay. So the only thing I could ask is to be in the middle, but hey, they didn't ask me. The match went 8 minutes, 47 seconds. It is what it is. I wasn't a fan of any of it. It didn't help Sky Blue look that much more impressive. She just kind of won because everybody else was stupid and distracted. I get comedy in wrestling, but again, I'm just like, let's have a wrestling match. Do the comedy on the backside. It overtook the match, in my opinion. Mr. Clarke.
Yeah, on the flip side, I'm a sucker for soap opera antics in professional wrestling to a degree, especially with romantic angles. So it's like, I was entertained by this. I understand Big Time's perspective on the match itself. It makes Sky Blue look like the intelligent one out of all three of them for taking advantage. That's not a bad thing.
No.
But I'm enjoying the Ruby Soho, Angela Parker stuff. See where it goes. And I think it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Sky Blue, continuing to go forward and eventually get some kind of title shot.
Yeah. Now, I might be interested in Ruby Soho and Parker's love story if they felt like they were more important characters than the Parkers are leftover. They still call them the XJS members. Like, they haven't done anything with these guys to rebrand them, give them new purpose. And Ruby Soho is I think Ruby Wright's a better character than Ruby Soho at this point. So it's like, I can't get invested in these people. So you want to give me a love angle to get invested in these two people when they don't mean anything. They're not people I'm going to see a title on. They're not people that are going to do anything. So why are we having a love story between these two people that it's not really going to mean anything? Is it going to help either of them get somewhere? Do either of them bring up something? It's not like, you can use John Cena with Nikki Bella and kind of give Nikki Bella a rub like they did a little bit. They didn't do it hardcore, but they did make the jokes about the Bella twins and who they were dating. If you're dating if there's a love story with somebody of higher preference. I mean, even when they did the AJ Lee with Bryan Danielson and CM Punk and different people and Dolph Ziggler, it felt important. You could invest yourself in it because it helped lift AJ to feel like she was something special because she was involved with the main character guys. Ruby Soho and Parker don't elevate each other. Don't make me invest because I'm like, why? What's the important in their love story?
What you're forgetting, though, is for some people, it is about the story. It's not necessarily about the result of the match.
It's not even about the result of a match. But I'm just like, where does this story go? Like, what purpose is the story going to serve in the end? Who is it going to help benefit anyone?
We don't know until they tell the story. This is literally kind of the beginning.
Yes, but I don't. They're not. They're not playable characters. They're second-hand characters.
Secondhand, I understand. But
so
again,
that's why
for some people, that is the point. It gives them something to do. Sometimes that's all it has to be.
I guess that's it. Tony Khan's fanboys on his Reddit subreddit and bullshit that praise him all glorious and high. Anyways, enough about that. Yeah, we get Wardlow backstage. He's kind of having an interview with Renee. He's talking about the downfall of MJF, and AR Fox comes in, and AR Fox wants to get involved with Wardlow. And Wardlow headbutts him down, and so, yay, Wardlow gets to walk over somebody else. AR Fox gets a little TV time. Don't care. Can't make me care about Wardlow. You did destroy that a long time ago. When Wardlow felt like importance, now it just felt like you're trying to rehash the same story. He's going in after MJF when he doesn't even deserve that opportunity because he disappeared for so long.
I mean, you saw my offline comment, and I was like, well, I guess I could say AR Fox on TV for a moment. I don't know if this is going to be a little feud, to kind of hold over until whenever Wardlow does go after MJF, or if it's just going to be a one-off. And
it's going to be a one-off. It's going to be like a 5-minute match. Wardlow's going to take down AR Fox like he's taking everybody else down. It's another feed me more type of situation. That's what Wardlow's becoming. Feed me more. That they might as well give him that chant. Feed me more. Him, they could bring back, delusional bull boy over there could come back to AEW and team up with Wardlow, and they could be the Feed Me More boys.
That part is, Tony would probably think about it.
Hey, the delusional boy over there says once he gets cleared, he's already got the deal. I mean, he's already got the deal ready. He's just got to get cleared, and him and Tony have a handshake agreement. So we may see the bald-headed bimbo boy. You want to talk about gorillas in the mist? Good God, humpback whale, dumbass mother, delusional trucker, freaking anal probing duck boy. Oh God. We finally got it on camera. You've always wanted me to say some classic weird combination of words on camera. Now we finally got one of them. So there you go. Oh, I got to calm down. I mean, I got onto that and I'm just like, oh, that's how angry. It's just like, God, Jesus, tornado country biscuit gravy. Tony, what are you doing? Why do you hate us? Why do you want to be Vince McMahon? And Vince McMahon took a lot longer to get to the point he was when he started doing this crap, and you've only taken 4 years to get here to crap over everything. This is not good wrestling.
Club in my head.
Huh?
I'm hearing Culture Club in my head. Do you really want to hurt me? Apparently Tony does. Why? I don't know, but...
Why can't we have good wrestling? You came out with AEW, made AEW popular. It was good. It was viable. It was making money. You were headed on the right path, and all of a sudden, you've just gone diarrhea in the mouth and the brain. I don't know. You took over everything. You lost control, and it's just a cluster jack train of just obliterating monkey guts.
Just pounding that jackfruit.
Well, folks, it's the line of the night. I don't even know what I said. Too bad we can't remember that. We could hashtag that. Anywho.
That's why it's called looking back at it when we're done.
I know.
Replay.
This Dynamite was just unfounded, just unbelievable. They went into this classic tournament. They gave us good matches in the ring. What should have been good matches in the ring? Everybody they paired up for this classic should have been good matches in the ring, but the matches didn't even turn out to what we had expectations to. In the final one, we had Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe, and it just and the whole time they're telling us, "Oh, we're going to go overtime." We've been allotted up to finish this match because each match has allotted 20 minutes of time. We thought for a moment there maybe they were going to have this one as the first draw, which would have been okay for Moxley and Mark Briscoe to go to a 20-minute time limit draw. You could have probably bought it with these two guys. Again, the in-ring work was good, but it wasn't as great as you put Moxley and Mark Briscoe in a match together, you expect a banger. It was not a banger quality match. Moxley wins with the 10th Death Rider. I forget how many times he had to drop Mark Briscoe on his head, but again, I don't think you can really do damage if you drop a Briscoe on the head. It's about like hitting Haku on the head. It's just there's some people you just in the world of wrestling that beat him on the head ain't gonna do you no good. You don't go banging a Samoan on the head. It's not gonna win. So I mean, I don't think you can probably drop Mark Briscoe on his head 20 times and he'll probably still get up and not feel any different. But hey, anyways, Moxley wins. This was not what you would expect when you hear the name Jon Moxley and Mark Briscoe in a ring, in a match. They went 11 minutes, 25 seconds. They went like 5 or 6 minutes overtime, but they made a big deal like they were going to go longer. So we have Moxley, we have Swerve, and we have Jay White, all with 3 points tonight. The other people got no points. We'll see what happens next week. We got 3 more matches coming up. On the 3 hours of Collision and Rampage, it's going to go head-to-head with WWE Survivor Series, War Games, the return of Randy Orton, and Tony Khan thinks he can compete, and I don't know what to say with his just inexcusable, unintelligible, I don't know what Tony Khan's thinking. I don't know how he got such a Dynamite of just not good quality. I mean, people want to say New Japan Wrestling has some of the greatest stars in the world of professional wrestling. We've heard about Kenny Omega. We've heard about the Young Bucks. We've heard about Jay White. We know Chris Jericho went over there. We know Jon Moxley's went over there and made names for themselves in these lands. We know all these names, the Shibatas, the Ibushis, and the Okadas, and all these names, and they come over here, and you're just like, what's so special about them? And it pisses me off because I'm like, you're telling me these guys are good. I believe it. I've seen some of the clips from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But they come over and it's just like, yeah. Mark Briscoe is supposed to be a great talent. Maybe his brother was a little better than he was in Ring of Honor and overall as a performer. Some people will say there's a debate there. Mark Briscoe is more the comedian, where Jay Briscoe is the more serious aspect of the Briscoe brothers. But even Jim Cornette acknowledges how great the Briscoe brothers are. So that says a lot. And whether you like Jim Cornette or don't like Jim Cornette, there's a respect for a man who's been in the business this long and has the knowledge that he has. And he has the respected knowledge. Whether you like him or not, it's a different story, but he still has knowledge. And when he says he respects somebody, that's a lot, because he doesn't respect a whole lot of people or think a lot of talent's great. And then when we know what the capabilities of a Swerve Strickland are, and then we know Jay Lethal is one of the best, not only was he good in TNA, but he went to Ring of Honor and became just a whole different level of Jay Lethal.
Ring of Honor even before TNA.
Yeah, I know, but that initial run in the Ring of Honor wasn't what he was when he came back. When he came back, he really made a stamp on his name and who he had become. And you would think these names would have a great match together, but none of these matches lived up tonight. I'm sorry. They didn't live up to tonight. Your thoughts on Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe?
Unsurprisingly, there was blood in this match. The surprising part is it wasn't Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
And that's really all you can say about this match.
Yeah.
There isn't much more to really talk about.
All these matches on TV, and these matches, each one of those matches could have been a headlining pay-per-view on different shows. A Swerve Strickland Jay Lethal match could have been a main event on a Dynamite, on a Collision, in a Ring of Honor match. And maybe if booked right in AEW, it could be a main event. Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe should be a main event in any place that you go. Should be main eventing a pay-per-view. Rush and Jay White should be a main event match on a Dynamite, a Collision, a Ring of Honor, even on a AEW pay-per-view. I mean, these names should all be bringing banger matches in the night. We didn't get anything. We got 3 guys that you would probably would have won for Jay White and Jon Moxley. And we got the 3 winners that you would come out of this, and it doesn't really anticipate. I don't care about the tournament anymore. There was nothing that happened tonight to excite me about next week. The 3 guys won. You're like, yay. Could they have had one of these come to a draw since they made a big deal about the draw? The Mark Briscoe should have been a draw to at least make Mark Briscoe feel something important. Moxley's already over. Like, you don't need to do anything for Moxley. Moxley doesn't even need to be in this tournament. I don't know why Brody King's in it, not Malachi Black. Kenny Omega's nowhere near this tournament. I know he's working with Chris Jericho as the Golden Jets, but I mean, you could have Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega in this tournament, put them on the same side where they have to face each other. Are the Golden Jets going to make it? Are they not going to make it? There's so many names that could be in this tournament that we're not even seeing in this tournament. They got decent names in this, but the matches we got tonight are like, nah. And now we're going into Saturday where we have Brian Danielson. I think he's taking on Claudio Castagnoli, I think, is taking on Daniel Garcia. And then you have Brody King, which I don't get why Brody King's in this and not Malachi Black. Other than just have a super big guy that, how's everybody going to beat him? I'm forgetting everybody who's in this again. Andrade El Idolo, who's really not important to anything, I guess, but he's out there with. And why would you have Miro in this tournament so you could cross Andrade and Miro at some point and at least give us something there? But no, we got Brody King, Brian Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Andrade El Idolo, and somebody else whose name is probably not even that important since I can't remember it again. What a sad day. I mean, you got me a tournament and I can't even remember the people's names off the top of my head. What does that say? Your thoughts, sir?
I got nothing at this point. It is what it is. We've gone through the show. This tournament. If they were all going to just share one belt.
Oh, it was Eddie Kingston. It was Eddie Kingston. How do I forget Eddie?
Like to share the one belt between the 3 companies, quote unquote. That's one thing. But I think for a while, I think it's going to be them showing all 3 belts.
I don't know what they're planning with it. Some places I'm hearing it's a triple crown, that all the belts will be defended across all the major brands. It doesn't make sense to me since I get Ring of Honor and AEW, but when you have New Japan, who you have a partner, but that's still a New Japan Pro Wrestling title, whether it's ranked very important or not important, you would still think they want some control on how that plays out. And then you're creating a new belt for what? I don't know. And then you're making the person a Triple Crown winner, but you want the new belt. But that doesn't... How does that make your new belt feel important when the person's carrying 3 belts? It's just... You win... And again, whoever's holding the titles will be defended across the brand, and whoever's the Classic Continental Champion or the Triple Crown Champion at next year's Continental Classic will be automatically in the Continental Classic, so the titles will all be on the line again. Will it be all 3 titles? Will it be just the Continental... It's a stupid tournament to bring another belt, which was unnecessary, unneeded. You could have just had a tournament to give Brian... This tournament was created because Brian Danielson is probably not going to be able to be in the G1 Climax, and this is what they did. The Tony Khan built a tournament for Brian Danielson. This is why I'm saying Brian Danielson is going to win, because it's a tournament built for him. He's out the door. I guess they can give him the titles. He can go drop the titles at some point. Maybe he'll win the titles and then go to Wrestle Kingdom, lose to Okada.
Come on, Miguel.
Is it Okada or is it Ibushi? It's Okada, right? Yeah, and Buddy Matthews should be in it too. It's Okada. Brian Danielson's in Okada, right? I can't keep up with this. Or is Okada going to WWE? Anywho, my brain's farting. Maybe he'll go there.
Miguel.
Okada, okay. Okada. So Bryan Danielson might lose these titles to Okada, and then Okada will go side with WWE, and maybe he'll go defend the Triple Crown at WWE. That would be freaking hilarious. I would laugh my ass off on that one. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your AEW Dynamite review right here on the Value of Wrestling. We appreciate you for being here. If you're here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure if you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Value of Wrestling family because we're growing and we're marching on to 1,000. And we are going to work our way there one step in front of another. Make sure you check out all the other videos on the channel. Make sure you like them. Share all these videos out with everybody, friends, family, and anybody you know that's into the world of professional wrestling. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications because we'll be live again very soon. I guess we'll be live Friday night after we do all of our Black Friday shopping. Be safe out there if you do go out there Black Friday shopping. We'll be here to cover SmackDown, the go-home show before Survivor Series. Then we will be live after Survivor Series. Myself, Mr. Paulus, Clarke, and the one and only Miguel Z will be here live to break down everything that happened in Survivor Series right after Survivor Series goes off the air. Whatever happens on Collision and Rampage this week, if we feel there's anything to discuss, it'll get dropped on to our weekly roundup, which is live every Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If anything happens, I mean, if it's just like, nah, I may not even review the shows. If it was as bad as tonight, we may not even discuss it. We may not even have a review show. We may not do anything about it. We may say, oh, yeah, if this is what we're getting tonight, I don't expect Collision to be any better. Because Collision's not even the number one show. So I don't hold my breath. I think this tournament's a waste. Tony Khan's lost his mind. He wants to go up against Survivor Series. He's literally moved Rampage from Friday to Saturday so he can get 3 hours of TV. He's not turning a profit at this point. Yeah. Why was your message redacted? Or retracted? Did you retract your message? I'm very confused. Sleepy Tony has too many damn ballots. What happened to your message? That's weird. I forget what you said. You said something about Sleepy Tony? Or Sleepy something? He isn't saying. You know what?
Maybe I am insane. Maybe I am insane. And maybe it's time for you to find out how insane I am.
That's all I got to say about that. And I will hate when we have to hear this about AEW. Yep. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Value Wrestling. This has been your AEW Dynamite review for November 22nd, 2023. If you're watching this later, thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Share this out with everybody, friends, family, and everyone else. I've said that twice. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm trying to close out the show as soon as I find the button. And like I always say, until the next episode. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to say bye-bye for now.
Happy Thanksgiving.